Okay, so this is the governor's bedroom.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And this is the part I call the air conditioning area, where the slave masters live, enjoying the fresh air, overlooking the sea view and everything.
So they had a nice life while the
Amazing
rest
life
had a horrible
at the very
life.
top. So let's come and see it.
Turn around, dig a hole in the ground. Oh, Emma, oh. Say, Emma, you from the country.
So you end up realizing that right from the entrance all the way to the east side, there are windows everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
There are windows everywhere. And the windows around here are all 16 in number. 2 at the main entrance, 9 here in the living room, and 5 in the bed.
So lots of air would come through.
Exactly.
And you can feel it. And then even just the sound of the ocean is quite calming.
I can feel the breeze enter from every angle. See that view?
Yeah.
The beach.
So he can definitely have overseen, definitely would have overseen all of this, because I see this is where the cannons are.
Cannons are and
where the
everything.
shooting and firing off.
Yeah.
The attack is coming.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to come.
Exactly.
Oh, Emma, oh. Emma, help me to pull these weeds. Oh, Emma, oh. You turn around, dig a hole in the ground. Oh, Emma, oh. Emma works harder than two grown men. Oh.
When they left, the Swedes came and occupied the fort. So they settled
So the
here.
Swedish.
So the Swedish were here. They built a stone fort, which they called Fort Carlsberg on this very land.
Okay.
And that's around 1653. And then they were defeated by the Danes. So in 1661, the local people decided to take the fort away from the Danes and give it to the Dutch around 1663. So the Dutch lived in the fort for just a year, and the British defeated them. So the British decided, we are not going to allow any other European nations take this place away from us. That is why they chose to have cannons all around the building to defend themselves. So the French tried, the German Brandenburgers tried, they were never able to defeat the British here. So the British settled here from 1664 until 1877, when they left Cape Coast and never came back to Cape Coast. And they left Cape Coast because they were having political problems with the local people here. At that time, colonial rule had begun, and Cape Coast was the capital of the nation. Then they left for Accra, moved the capital to Accra, and never came back here.
Wow.
Yes.
So, do you believe, or maybe you have information, did they leave specifically because of the fact that the local people were revolting against them? Because you
Yes.
mentioned something about that.
The local people were actually revolting against them because most of the locals here had become very much enlightened, going through their schools, getting Western education and everything. So they were very much enlightened. So these British came up with taxes and so many things, and they were like, no, this is too much. So the market women decided they were going to go on a demonstration. Very early in the morning, market women, some naked and all of that, marched from the market all the way down to the fort.
Look at that, the women leading.
Exactly.
The women
So
were
the women
leading.
got here, did whatever they had to do. The next day, the Europeans were nowhere to be found around here.
Wow, that's
They
amazing.
left and never came back.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The women led.
Yeah. And that is why Accra became the capital of Ghana. Other than that, Cape Coast will still be the capital.
Yes, Cape Coast was.
Yeah.
So where are you leading me now?
We are going to talk about the church built in the castle above the men's dungeon.
You know, we visited another fort, and that was the case. There's a church right above the men's dungeon.
Exactly.
And it's like the irony of that
Yeah.
you're praying to God,
Yeah.
and, you know, maybe asking for forgiveness, maybe you're praising God, but then you have people you're harboring.
Well, let me tell you a lot more about that. What happened was, whenever the Europeans or these slave traders took Africans from Africa to the Americas, they were looking to converting them into becoming Christians. So then if I'm going to convert you into becoming a Christian, I will have to first of all sensitize you, give you a good perception about my religion. So I build my church above you. You stay down there in the dungeon in faith, talk of sleeping beside your piss and poop in shackles and chains. Well, in your mind, you belong to either African traditional religion or Islamic religion. And being in that condition, your religion is horrible. Your gods have abandoned you. Every normal person will say that. So then, while the Europeans are out there worshiping God, you are in the dungeon, you hear them singing hymns, praises and worship. Preachers will preach, they giggle and laugh at it. Make you have a perception that they are always happy worshiping their God. So when then they are forcing that on them in the Americas and everything, it becomes much easier for them to embrace it because of the perception they have of it. That is why most of the churches were actually built above dungeons in these forts and castles.
Powerful, yeah, quite powerful. It's at the same time I almost wonder, I'm like, but wouldn't you think that these people who are praying above you are like, they may be sounding happy, but they're also using it to hold you down below? Like, wouldn't people have thought that?
It was actually a psychological thing. Everything they made them go through here was to break them. All right, so from here we're actually going to see the church,
Okay.
which is now a children's library,
Okay.
and then we head straight for the dungeon.
Say, Emma, you from the country. Oh, Emma, you turn around, dig a hole in the ground. Oh, Emma, help me to pull these weeds. Oh, Emma, you turn around, dig a hole in the ground.
This here is the children's library. And, well, the librarian is not around at the moment, so that's why it's under lock keys.
Ah.
Yeah. When she comes around, she opens everything and the kids can trip in to study. When she's not around, she makes sure she knows everything. Yeah. All right. So we are going to see this hole right there in the male dungeon, built at the very entrance of the church originally. So if you are down there, this hole made it much easier for people down there to always hear the noises from the church and everything. And that is the medium they used in making them know exactly what's going on up here and sensitizing them. That is why it's at the very entrance of the church. And it will surprise you, we're going to see that right in the third chamber of the male dungeon. And the male dungeon has got 5 chambers. So right in the third chamber, the middle, it's there. So when the noise goes down, it spreads out, then everybody hears.
Right. So it's designed that way.
Exactly.
So where are we off to now?
We are off to the male dungeon. Yes.
So we're going to the male dungeon now?
Exactly. So the male dungeon is going to be a bit dark. But first of all, before we enter, let me tell you a bit about this plaque and that plaque.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so looking at this very plaque, you realize that it mentions the name of President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama. Well, the visit wasn't for Barack Obama, it was for Michelle Obama. Yes.
But weren't they both here?
Well, they were both here, but then it was for Michelle Obama. And I say this because Michelle Obama had traced her ancestry all the way down to the fort.
She did?
She did. So
Really?
then
I did not know that.
Well, she did. So then she wanted to come and see where the ancestors were taken from.
Wow.
And she decided to bring along her mother and her daughters, and the husband accompanied them to give them his moral support.
Wow.
Other than that, I'm going to say Obama, well, he didn't come to see this. The
That's
wife came to do it.
amazing.
Yes.
I did not know that part of the
Yes.
story. I'm sure there's people watching right now
Exactly.
who didn't know that either.
Exactly.
And so that was in 2009.
In 2009, on the 11th day of July, yes.
I'm sure that the city of Cape Coast was very, very lively, and
was
everybody
like
was
a
just
festival.
celebration.
Everybody, the chiefs and all of them wanted to catch a glimpse of the Obamas. Whereas, about some days ago, Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States, was here, but then there were not many people around here to even catch a glimpse of her.
Right, so it
Yes.
wasn't the same type
It
of
wasn't
energy.
the same type of energy as that of the Obamas. Yeah.
Were
Very
you,
different.
so did you do the tour when
Well,
they
I
came?
did not. My boss did.
Okay.
Yes.
Of course, the boss is
you know
going to do the
bosses,
tour when
yeah.
it's, yes.
That's what happens.
Well, I'm glad you were at least around when it happened.
Yeah, I caught
so-
a glimpse. It was,
That's good.
yeah, it was
That's
cool.
good, that's
All right,
good.
so let's head straight for the male dungeon.
Okay. Oh, the other
Well, I
plaque.
forgot this one.
Yes,
Okay.
the other plaque.
So this one was placed here in the year 1992 by the Ghana House of Chiefs and the government of Ghana. Why? Because they believe their forefathers played very important role in everything that happened. And if they are dead, they can't say sorry to any of us. That is why they came up here, placed a plaque on the wall, saying, in everlasting memory of the anguish of our ancestors. May those who died rest in peace. May those who return find their roots. May humanity never again perpetrate such injustice against humanity. We, the living, vow to uphold this. So that goes to whoever that visits this very fort. That's wonderful.
I'll be so glad when the sun go down.
When the sun go down.
I'll be so glad